We are shifting into the 5D energy and the 5D consciousness. And this shift has been actually happening for some time now. And it's only going to intensify until the rest of the year and then also into the new year as we're aligning ourselves to this new earth energy template as we're moving into the age of Aquarius. Now, this shift actually may be challenging for many as we're being tested to stay in alignment with the 5D frequency instead of getting pulled back down and feeling stuck in the 3D way of being, of what we have been used to or how we have been used to living. And this energy shift, this really shifting into this 5D energy, can be both exciting and uplifting, but also at the same time, it can be challenging and overwhelming, especially if you're not quite sure how to best align yourself to this 5D frequency band that we are moving into, that we are shifting into. And in this video, I want to share with you 6 ways that can help you embrace this shift so you too can align yourself more to the 5D frequency, because that is really the frequency that we're moving into. And the more you're aware of this and the more you really work on really embracing this shift, the easier it will be. So let's dive into those 6 sure ways that can really help you make the shift easier. The first thing I want to share with you is go with more ease. When we're talking 5D energy, there is no hard work or making things happen really necessary, because that's the 3D way of going about things, the ego-driven way is I gotta work really hard, I gotta make stuff happen, right? It has to be this way. And when we're talking 5D energy, that's more so the divine feminine frequency of ease, of grace, of allowing. So here, as we're moving really into this 5D energy shift, you may have noticed that there were times when you really felt like you needed to make things happen, but you were actually feeling quite squeezed and stretched, and it just didn't feel right. And it didn't even work out either. So you may have noticed that already whenever you were trying to make things happen and work really hard, that you were actually moving even more into misalignment and things weren't working out. Things actually became even more challenging. And that's really the big key here is as we're moving into this 5D frequency, as we're really shifting into it on a more permanent level, is we want to go at things with more ease. Like I said, hard work, making things happen is actually not working when we're talking about 5D frequency, because it only causes friction and tension and more misalignment. So whenever you're noticing that things don't feel right, whenever you're going about things and it just doesn't feel right, that's because you are actually trying too hard to make it happen. There's always divine timing in play, and there's also this soul alignment that is very important. So instead of just constantly working really hard or trying to make things happen, allow yourself to ease into things, really tune into, see, okay, what do I feel called to do? Listen to your intuition. Your intuition will be the key thing for you to focus on now moving forward, because your intuition will guide you of how to go about things, what to do. If you may receive the guidance that, okay, today maybe take things a little slower, don't override it with your ego saying, no, I gotta work today. I can't just be lazy and not do anything. Because that's when you then move into misalignment. And so you will be tested now until the end of the year, and then especially next year, we're really stepping into the 5D frequency. So right now, from now until the end of the year, you are being tested. You're being given opportunities to really see, okay, have you learned your lesson of really staying in 5D? And this testing phase has been going on. I have found that it really started to intensify in October with the eclipse season and everything. And it has been going on up until now, and it's going to continue for the rest of the year, because next year we're really stepping into the 5D frequency. So here the message is to trust more, to really tune in more, to follow that inner guidance, and to go at things with more ease. Like I said, hard work and making things happen is not how you're going to align yourself to the 5D frequency, because that keeps you stuck in 3D. So here the message is to trust your intuition more, and then to surrender and allow. Really go at things with more ease. And then the second tip I want to share with you is learn to trust that there's a divine plan unfolding, that there is a higher path, a higher plan for you that is unfolding right now. when we're talking 5D, it's really about trusting. It's about staying in alignment. And I actually had shown a message from Toth not too long ago about the 5D way of manifesting and just, stepping into that energy. And he had shared something with me. It's an analogy that was really so fitting. And I'm just going to paraphrase it and really just, summarize what he shared with me. But basically, he had mentioned about a tree, right? When we're talking about a tree, it starts out as a seed or as a root, and then it grows into a beautiful tree. And eventually, it's going to turn into, like, let's say a fruit tree and bearing fruits or bearing leaves or bearing flowers or things like that. So a tree seed or a tree root never wonders or questions, will I ever become a beautiful tree? It just knows. It trusts. It believes. It knows that as long as it gets all the right nutrition, the water, the good soil, and no one cuts it down, it's going to turn into a beautiful tree. And that's what we are meant to really embody as well, really trusting and knowing that there is a divine plan unfolding. And really trusting that whatever is to our highest and greatest good will unfold in divine timing. And I know divine timing does not feel good when it comes to the ego, because we want our personality, our ego wants things right now. We're very impatient beings, right? But when we're talking 5D, it's really about developing that deep sense of trust that your path is unfolding, that whatever you're meant to be doing, whatever your soul has come here to do, is going to work out in whatever way, shape, and form is to your highest and greatest good. Yes, it may look completely different than what you would like, but what you would like may actually be very misaligned to what your soul truly desires. Oftentimes we're holding back or we're limiting ourselves based on our fears, our experiencing, our doubts, and those type of things, or what we believe is truly possible. But when we're talking about the divine plan, the divine path, our soul's highest path, that could actually mean something completely different than what you have thought possible, or even in a more evolved way that you ever thought you would be stepping into. So here it's really about the second way about really embracing the shift is learn to trust in your higher life plan and in divine timing. That will also assist you in really embracing the shift. Then the third tip is always choose a higher path over lack and limitation. Allow yourself to look at things from a higher perspective. If you're stuck in a situation right now and you don't really know your way out, or it doesn't seem like that there's a solution right there, allow yourself to uplift above whatever you're experiencing. Really lift your frequency, lift your vibration, lift your consciousness to see the bigger picture. What can you learn from this? What is the message here? What's the lesson here? What's the gift within whatever you're experiencing? And then open yourself up to seeing the higher truth here. Open yourself up to a higher solution. Because when we're talking about solutions, opportunities, and things, there's infinite ways of how you can go about things, or infinite ways of how you can look at a situation. But as human beings in the 3D world, we're usually just looking at things from one perspective, maybe two or maybe three, but that's usually a stretch. But usually it's our perspective that we're looking at, and that's what we see, that's what we believe, and that's what we say, well, this is how it is, right? But when we're talking 5D here, as we're moving into the new Earth template, you're really meant to elevate your consciousness and opening yourself up to seeing other opportunities too, other ways of going about things, higher solutions. Because when you uplift above whatever you're experiencing, the lack, limitation, challenges, worries, fears, and all of that 3D way of being, of experiencing, when you lift yourself above that, that opens you up to a completely new experience, a higher frequency experience, and also higher solutions. You will be surprised that when you really detach from the low level frequency of lack, limitation, all of that, and really move above that, and you're like, okay, well, how else could I be looking at this? What other solutions could be available here? And you really just open yourself up to that. You will be surprised of how many solutions will come to you, or maybe just the best solution that will help you with this, whatever you're experiencing, but in a higher way. You want to detach from the emotional turmoil that whatever you're experiencing is causing you and really uplift. Look at it from a different perspective. That's another way of that we're being guided to really step into, is to looking at things in a higher way. So the more you can really do that, detach from the situation on an emotional level, on an energetic level, and really move above that, you will open yourself up to what's really possible as you connect into that 5D frequency, because there are infinite ways of going about things. And also the higher solutions are available to you as well. Then the fourth thing is that I want you to know is that what is very important in order to really embrace this shift is you want to elevate your consciousness and raise your vibration. You want to really elevate yourself, because right now you're very much in the 3D world, right? Because we are 3D human beings, right? But when we're talking this new earth frequency, shifting into this age of Aquarius, it's really about elevating our consciousness and raising our frequency, because the more you can really elevate your consciousness, and that also goes back to what I just mentioned with the third tip here about really looking at things from a different perspective. That's also, you elevating your consciousness above the 3D way of being. So it's really moving forward, shifting into the 5D frequency is all about elevation, really elevating our consciousness, elevating our frequency, because when you really focus on really raising your vibration and raising your frequency, raising your consciousness is really going to be the major driving point here moving forward to really help you align yourself to the 5D frequency. And the next two tips that I'm going to share with you are really going to assist you with that even more so. But just know that moving beyond the 3D way of being, moving into the 5D way of being by lifting your consciousness, raising your consciousness, and also raising your frequency is going to be absolutely important, and it's going to assist you to make the shift with more ease. And as I mentioned at the beginning, this energy is both exciting and uplifting and expansive, but also then challenging and maybe even overwhelming, because it's pushing you outside of your comfort zone. It's shifting you. It's basically stretching your consciousness. It's stretching you on so many levels. And if you're not aware of it, if you're not really working the energy, if you're not really focusing on raising your consciousness and raising your frequency, then you're experiencing this whole push-pull kind of energy, because one part of you is still stuck in the 3D, but the other part, your soul part, your awakening side is moving more into the 5D, so it's this push-pull energy. So the more you can really work this energy by really tapping into or embracing this 5D shift, the easier it will be. And raising your frequency, raising your consciousness is going to assist you with that. And then now more on a more practical aspects, the fifth tip that I want to share with you is you want to focus on soul alignment. And what I mean with that is you want to connect with your soul on a regular basis. And the way you do that is you just kind of tune in. It's about tuning into your heart, really letting go of anything and everything that is bothering you, your to-dos or anything like that. And you really just come back into your heart, come back to center, really tuning in. And then you can say something as simple as, I now call forth my soul. Please step forward and connect with me now. And really just do that with intention. And you will feel that shift, or you will sense that shift, or maybe you will actually see the shift happening within you. You may feel somewhat of an inner sitting up, an inner stretching out, or filling up in a way. Whatever you will experience is absolutely fine. You may not even experience anything, but you just have that knowing that, okay, I feel more connected now. I feel more grounded and centered. But you want to do that on a regular basis, ideally daily, maybe even multiple times a day, to really tune in, to check in with your soul. What do I feel called to do? What is most in alignment with me right now? Is what I want to do right now? Is this really to my highest and greatest good? And really feel into things. It's not about that logical or that analytical thinking or strategizing about things, but it's about feeling into things. So really tuning into your soul, letting your soul guide you, letting your soul nudge you. It's about that listening to your intuition. That is going to be key here. And then only doing the things that you really feel called to do. If there's anything that you feel like doesn't feel right, I don't know about that, then here you want to really take a step back and see what is going on here. Why do you feel this way? If it maybe feels like something that you should be saying no to, then do that. Or if you can't say no about it, then look at it from a different perspective and then choose to say yes for whatever reason. You're acknowledging that it's actually not what you want to be doing, but you're choosing it anyways for whatever reason. Let's say it is important to another person, or you want to do something nice for that person, or something like that, or that doing this will help you get to wherever you want to be. Let's say you're stuck in a job that you absolutely hate, you don't want to do this, and you still have to go every single day, but you know that actually you don't want to go, you don't want to get up in the morning. Then here you can elevate your consciousness by looking at it from a different perspective. Okay, I acknowledge that I hate my job, I don't want to do this, but for the time being, this is what I choose to be doing because this will help me pay my bills. This will help me, get to that next level, whether it's then maybe starting my business or growing a business, or it will help me until I find something differently. But then you want to also take the steps to then do something differently. But you want to listen to your soul's guidance. You want to really open yourself up to being led by this higher wisdom that is already within you. And the more you connect with your soul, your higher self, the easier this will be. And then the message is really, you want to trust that guidance. You want to act upon the guidance because it will be to your best interest. And then the sixth and final tip here is you want to focus more on joy and pleasure. If there is something that doesn't bring you joy, that doesn't bring you pleasure, that means you're absolutely misaligned. So here you want to then step into alignment again by going back to the fifth tip here, is tuning into your soul, connecting. Like, okay, what do I want to do instead? If this is not bringing me joy, if this does not bring me pleasure, what do I want instead? And then go after that. Take the necessary steps that you feel called to do to really step back into alignment. Because one thing you want to understand is, if you're stuck in a situation, in a circumstance that doesn't bring you joy or pleasure, you're moving more into misalignment. And that's when the overwhelm comes. That's when the frustration comes. That's when the whole, it's just another day kind of situation, and you're feeling very disconnected. So here you want to really assess if whatever you're doing doesn't bring you joy, doesn't bring you pleasure, you want to tune in. Why? Why is this not bringing you pleasure? Why is this not bringing you joy? What do you want to do instead? What would bring you more joy, more pleasure, or even how can you look at it from a different perspective, right? Now here, like I just mentioned in the fifth tip, if you are stuck in a situation and look at it from a different perspective, but then you want to then really choose to do it anyways for that reason that is going to be supportive for you, but then you want to do something about it, because it's not about making rash decisions and quitting your job or starting something new without actually feeling into it, right? But if you're noticing that something doesn't feel right, you really want to assess, and then you want to do something to start making a shift, start doing things differently, whether it's looking for a different job, maybe starting your own business, maybe getting help, or whatever it is. But that's really the key here, is you want to focus more on pleasure. You want to focus more on joy, because the more you really tap into the energy of joy and pleasure, that's what keeps you in the 5D frequency. That keeps you in alignment as well. And if things don't bring you joy, don't bring you pleasure, that means you're misalignment, and that's not the 5D way of living. So these are the 6 tips, the 6 sure ways that if you really embrace these, that will then also help you embrace that shift of moving into the 5D frequency. It will make it easier for you as well. Of course, you're still going to maybe have times where you're slipping into 3D, because like I said, right now we're still in this whole testing period, this practice mode, so to speak. Because we're not used to being in 5D. We're not being taught to believe in possibilities and focus on joy and abundance and all these things. We have been living the 3D way of being, which is often ego-driven, which is often stuck in lack and limitation and doubt and fear and those type of things. So of course it's going to take time for us to really shift into the 5D way of being. But I'm really hoping that these 6 tips that I just shared with you are going to assist you in really making this shift easier, and you can really embrace that. And by the way, if you enjoyed this video, you've gotten value out of it, do me a favor, hit the like button. If you haven't done so already, subscribe and hit the notification bell. so you can get notified whenever I release new content. Because my goal here with this channel, and also moving forward, moving into this new earth template, is really to help you, really assist you on your journey of embracing this path, embracing your higher path, your soul's path of what your soul has come here to do. And it starts with really giving you the guidance, the insights, the support through these videos to really help you make the most out of cosmic events, cosmic shifts, and really embracing your spiritual awakening journey. But I would like to know from you, how have things been for you? Have you noticed this shifting already? How are you handling it? Are you embracing it? Are you feeling challenged by it? I would love to know. Leave me a comment below and share with me, like, how are you doing with this? Or even if you have any questions that I can maybe assist you with in answering questions for you, I would love to do that. But thank you so much for being here, for allowing me to share these tips with you. I really hope they're going to assist you and that they are of value to you. And be sure to check out this video here. It's about your soul's purpose in this new earth template, so you can really get a better understanding of what you're then here to do moving forward as we're really moving into this new earth template. And I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Until then, make an amazingly abundant and joyful day. Namaste.